places on Earth like Africa and Asia. And so they collected data on the prevalence of people having antibodies and antigens, multiple disease, mortality rates, and many nutritional risk factors. They had quite a data set. And what they learned was that people who were on a in these cultures that were eating primarily a whole food plant-based diet seemed to have more antibodies. They seemed generally to do better once they were infected by a virus. Now, admittedly, in this article, uh, Dr. Campbell, like he says, let me quote him. He says, in our research, we also found that people consuming more animal protein had fewer antibodies, even in those consuming a very low amount of animal protein. Close quote. That's intriguing to me. And he goes on to say in this, it's a short article. Uh, he sees, he makes the argument that there's an interplay among nutrition, virus activity, and disease, and that we can, what we know about that interplay, we can apply it to addressing the coronavirus and other viruses, you know, and especially for older individuals or people who have pre-existing conditions. And he said that I'm quoting now, quote, switching to a whole food plant-based diet should lessen the severity of disease symptoms while simultaneously increasing COVID-19 antibodies, a win-win effect, close quote. Huh. Now, he admits that there needs to be more research to support that particular hypothesis. But when you read that, and that China study was done a while back, but the data are compelling. And food is not just food. I mean, food provides the building blocks for the body to respond to disease, to infection, to injury, uh, and just generally to maintain itself. You wouldn't build a house with poor building materials. Why would one want to build cells, tissues, and whatnot with poor building materials? So food makes a difference. And so what I'm trying to share with you is that I'm trying to give you one less thing to worry about. You want to do something to keep yourself, even if you do get infected, to do better, is to move more toward a plant-based diet, a whole food plant-based diet. You can go to nutritionfacts.org. You can go to forksoverknives.com. You can go there. You'll find Dr. Campbell's article there. It was written in 2020, June 23rd, and it's entitled, Could Changing Our Diets Defeat COVID-19? That's the title of the piece. You can find it on the internet. It's free. You'll find it at forksoverknives.com. Of course, I have a bias, I admit. You know, being a nutritionist now, um, you always have to understand what your biases. Uh, and so that's my bias. I think that nutrition is a pathway that we can follow to get us to a better place with our health, our wellness, and our well-being. Our health and our wellness are those threads that weave in and out of our life. We want those threads to be vital. We come back, we'll talk some more. We have a guest in the second hour, wonderful guest. And you're there, you're wonderful people, and I enjoy being with you. Let's talk nutrition, coast to coast and global. Thanks to you. I'll be back.
Wayne Elliott here to tell you about my experience with Strauss Heart Drops over the past 20 years. The Strauss Heart Drops saved me back then and changed my life forever. It's hard to describe how invigorating it is when you increase your blood flow everywhere. The Heart Drops have proven to dissolve plaque from arteries, veins, and vessels caused from cholesterol that can restrict or block our blood flow, our body's most important function. I was able to avoid open heart surgery, as was my father, and instead cleared our arteries painlessly and without chemical drugs, which, by the way, do not claim to remove any plaque or increase blood flow otherwise. Strauss Heart Drops work, I can assure you. No contraindications with pharma drugs. Strauss Heart Drops are safe, and Strauss guarantees your satisfaction with a money-back guarantee. So you can't go wrong and certainly have nothing to lose. If you've had open heart surgery, angina, diabetes, low energy, cold hands and feet, or grayish-blue skin or lips, Strauss Heart Drops are for you. Available online at powermall.com and straussnaturals.com. I promise you won't be sorry.
This is Dr. Michael Garko from Let's Talk Nutrition. Tired of not having enough energy to exercise and be physically active? Well, OptiNos from Earth's creation can help recharge your body, energy it needs to live a physically active lifestyle. OptiNos does three things to help energize. First, it increases nitric oxide, which means more oxygen and nutrients flowing to your cells. Second, OptiNos helps create ATP, the body's energy. Third, OptiNos reduces lactic acid buildup, which causes exercise-associated muscle soreness. So turn on your body's energy switch, OptiNos, and start living a physically active lifestyle. Get OptiNos at ecsportsusa.com. That's ecsportsusa.com. For a limited time, use promo code EC and get $10 off your first order. Promo code EC. The sooner you use OptiNos, the sooner you will feel better about yourself and your body. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station.
You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com.
Statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
And welcome to the show. Absolutely, 100%. Love being here with you. Hope you're having a good day, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show, and whatever you may be doing. I look, just like you, trying to figure things out, make my way through all of this. Um, I'll share one more thought with you. I talked about mindfulness in that first hour, and I promised, and I keep my promises. I will put together a full program, and I may even get somebody on here who's an expert in mindfulness um, to talk about it, because I think we can all benefit from it. I have. Um, and I'll share this one thing with you, and you can make of it what you will. And I keep referring to this moment in my life, as you well know, when I was so ill. Okay? Given all that happened and where I am now, other than something horrible happening to one of my family members, my daughter, my grandson, my great grandson, other than that, everything else that happens for me, no matter how difficult, is crochet compared to what I went through. It's crochet. One of my great lessons was to keep things in perspective. And I remember it was a time I would get caught up and just worked up over things that really, at the end of the day, didn't merit that kind of uh, emotional, psychological, and spiritual expenditure. So yeah, that was one of my lessons. No matter how difficult things are, compared to what I went through, everything else is crochet. One of my guests today, well, not one of them, the guest today, the only guest today, the featured guest today on Let's Talk Nutrition is Charlotte Trass, and uh, very fond of her. She's not only not just because of her expertise, she makes my job easier, uh, but because she's a good person. And earlier in my career, I always would look at somebody's curriculum vitae or their resume and make some judgment. Now, that's the last thing I look at, and then I just try to find out first, is this a good person? Let's start with that, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll take a look at their resume. Charlotte, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thanks for having me. I love being on with you.
So, you're pretty informed human being, as I come to learn. In your journey through this life, have you ever practiced mindfulness or studied it, or I'm sure you've bumped into it at least
Every day. Every day.
e-
Yeah.
every.
Yeah, when you have kids, mindfulness is a real saver. It's a real lifesaver. Let me tell you that. You begin to really look at the moments as being very special and very precious. And I'll give you an example. Uh, my One of my kids came up to me and asked me to come play with them the other day, and I was right in the middle of a project, and everything was just swirling around me. And my first instinct was to say, "No, mommy's got to work." And then I just stopped for a second, and I was like, what's more important right now? Like, I can work 10 minutes later and go do this for 10 minutes, and it will mean the world to them. And maybe it will mean the world to me, and it will take me out of my head where I'm working and put me more into a playful mind frame where I can, get more done. And again, you never know what's going to energize you, and you never know what's going to inspire you. But we always try and force our head into that space, don't we? And the cool thing about mindfulness is that it tells you to be present and not judgmental of yourself and where you are right now. And that's a beautiful acceptance that doesn't happen very often. We are very self-critical of ourselves, and mindfulness puts us into another spot, which I'm hugely fond of.
That. And that's right. Not to be so, to accept yourself within the moment, the context of the moment, not into, um, im- how can I put this? You know, and it's hard to convey this to people when, for example, I'll give a very dramatic example. The morning I got the call that my mom passed away. All right, that call is a horrible call to receive by anybody at any time. And
Mhm.
I remember that it was a rainy morning, and I hung up the phone. It was early, and the call came in at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was still asleep. I hadn't gotten up yet, and there was a nurse who called me, and I hung up the phone, and I sat on the side of my bed there, and I just sat there, and I thought, I just tried to stay calm in that very moment, in that moment, and didn't panic. I just tried to compose myself. Even in that kind of moment, mindfulness really it does work, and it was a wonderful thing that you did. That 10 minutes to those children, to your kids, that was a great. They'll remember those kinds of things either consciously or unconsciously. So, like I always say, you're a good mom.
Well, I try and also remember, a really interesting thing that helps get me into mindfulness in the moment. That one of the old founders taught me from New Chapter is when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I'm feeling like there's too much going on, just to do what we would call a simple like mindfulness gratitude practice, which is just to sit there and think of all the things that you're grateful for. And
Mm,
even just taking a minute or two just to express that gratitude for things in your life, for things that are happening. I'm grateful for, and it starts very simply for me. I'm grateful for this, tea that I'm drinking and the caffeine that's in it. And then it gets a little bit deeper. And then finally I get to the heart of what really matters, which is, man, I'm so grateful for my health. I'm so grateful that I have my family. I'm so grateful for this roof over my head and, the nutritious food that we're able to eat. And then it just puts me into this mindset of I have so much, and I think that when people, experience the gratitude in their lives for the things that they have, it's easy to get into a mindset where you're just in the present and of right now and being grateful. And that's a beautiful moment that centers you and causes love and acceptance and for your own station and where you are right now. And that's a great feeling.
it is a great feeling, and well said. Being grateful is like diffusing a stick of dynamite. It just diffuses it. You're right. It it brings a whole different texture to the moment. Yeah. So this block, are we out of this block soon, Katie?
We have about a minute, a little over.
All right, thank you. So I know you always come prepared. Were you a Girl Scout?
I was. I was a Girl
Ah,
Scout.
okay. So I know you're. That was, you see,
My
I ask
husband
these
was an
questions, I
Eagle
never
Scout,
know
or
what
is
answer
an
I'm going to
Eagle
get.
Scout.
I hit bingo. I hit it. We come back. Charlotte is always prepared. Of course, she's prepared. And we'll see what she has prepared for dinner, quote unquote, so to speak. Charlotte Trask is the guest today. always enjoy having her on the air with us. She's one of the LTN faves. LTN, Coast to Coast and Globally, featuring Charlotte Trass from New Chapter.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable? Take solace. You're one of millions of Americans that has trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. In fact, according to a national survey, 54% of adults have trouble sleeping. So what can you do about it? Take Solace. Solace is an all-natural dietary supplement formulated to support healthy sleep and relaxation. Solace can help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. Formulated with all-natural ingredients, Solace is non-addictive and won't leave you feeling groggy in the morning. Take Solace an hour before bed and feel the calming effects of this extensively researched sleep and relaxation aid. For more information on Solace, call toll-free 877-533-7066 or visit TakeSolace.com. That's 877-533-7066 or take SOLUS.com. Look for Solace in your local health and nutrition store. Solace, for a good night's rest naturally.
Did you get enough calcium today? 85% of women over the age of 20 and 50% of men over the age of 30 consume less than the recommended daily intake of calcium. One of the best ways to protect your bones and joints, Bone-Up provides Australian hydroxyapatite, the very same form of calcium found in the human body. However, strong bones and joints require more than calcium. Magnesium, zinc, manganese, copper, silicon, vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin K, and boron are all beneficial to optimum joint function. Bone-Up gives you all of these. Bone-Up is the most healthful nutritional regimen for bones and joints. Ask for Bone-Up at your local health food store. Or, for more information, go to www.jarrow.com for the best in calcium formulas.
If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Strauss Herbs, everything our bodies need is provided by nature. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
And welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Charlotte Trask is my guest today. Charlotte is an educator for a new chapter, one of the leading dietary supplement companies on the planet. Charlotte, welcome back. And I always ask you, speaking of mindfulness, what's on your mindful mind?
Well, I've been getting a lot of questions about elderberry. I don't know if you're getting the same questions right now, but I am getting a lot of questions about elderberry. So I thought we could talk a little bit about this little botanical that's making so many waves right now.
100%. Funny you should mention elderberry. I was just how things work out. Just a couple of days ago, I was reading about elderberry and its effect on the immune system and whatnot. So here you are now wanting to talk about it. Very good. Absolutely. Do you like elderberry pie, by the way?
I'm a fan of most berries. I'm kind of a berry girl. Berries are low on the glycemic index and therefore are some of my favorite fruits.
Yeah, elderberry pie. So, what is it that intrigues you about elderberry now?
Well, I think that a lot of times, there's a lot of new science and research on elderberry, and whenever new science or new research comes out, we tend to get really excited about it in the natural industry because, research is a great way to show that these historical and legacy botanicals that have been around for a really long time actually work. And when it comes to elderberry, elderberry has this amazing history. I mean, the first book on elderberry was published back in 1677, which is a long time ago, of course. And, it's when medicine wasn't really available to all economic demographics. And one of the things that elderberry did was, it's the reason this book was published was to put, these botanicals in the hands of people so that they could become their own health advocates. This is exactly what we do today in the natural health food store. So I feel like elderberry is part of a legacy of who we are and what we do. But I also love some of this crazy cool research that's coming out showing how elderberry has these great antioxidants within it that you're not going to get in a lot of other places, and showing how it can the research is really exciting because it points to how it can slow or it can fasten or it can hasten your flu symptoms and help you to recover faster from flu.
Really? It's one of the in part of my program of studies, course of studies for my clinical nutrition degree is a course entitled Botanical Medicine. And of course, the botanicals, I talked about botanicals the other day on the show, and you used the term botanical just a moment ago. And we use these terms sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself, saying, oh, what is a botanical? I'm just curious. Share with you, and it may be just one word that you use to define it. What is a botanical?
Well, so is it a fancy way to say a plant? I don't know.
There you go.
When I think that people get, one of the reasons I say botanicals is because not every plant is an herb, and not every plant is, a fruiting body or has, fruit to it. And not every plant, vegetables, right? So botanical is kind of a general term that relates to all plants. And I like it for that because I think that botanicals in the natural industry, is a more accurate description than saying like herbs and spices, because we obviously know that the healing powers of food, right? And so when you're looking at plant power, I often say botanical.
Of course, herbalists, that is the center of their attention, these plants and the herbs and their chemical makeup and how they work and what they do. Um, so go ahead with elderberry. Share a little more.
Sure. So one of the things is that when we were looking at the research on elderberry, people often ask if all elderberries are the same, right? So there's two elderberries that tend to be pretty predominant within the natural space right now. One is Sambucus nigra, and one is Sambucus canadensis. And because they both go by the name elderberry, people think that they're a lot alike, but actually they're pretty different. I mean, they grow in different areas. Canadensis grows in North America. Nigra grows in Europe. And a lot of the science and research that I've seen is tied to Nigra, which is why at New Chapter we use Sambucus nigra. But we specifically use a very special elderberry called the Hausberg elderberry. And the reason that we do that is because Hausberg elderberries have this great, what we would call an anthocyanin profile. And anthocyanins are super cool. So anthocyanins are like that, blue-red pigment that your berries get. They're just antioxidant powerhouses. And a lot of people think that you're going to get them from, blueberries or strawberries. And while anthocyanins are in those, they're in a much lower concentration than you would find in elderberries, which is why elderberries are so cool.
Mm-hmm. And I 877-897-8255. We'll put you in touch with Let's Talk Nutrition, and you may have a question or two. You find elderberry in all of these, some of these over-the-counter and even prescription medications, in cough syrups and whatnot, right?
Right. So yeah, elderberry, and the reasoning for that is because elderberry has this great research, and how it works has really been explained. Well, how it may work has been explained. There was a 2019 study that showed that elderberries might be able to inhibit the flu virus's entry and replication in your cells.
There you go, 100%. Yet another piece to our puzzle. We'll be back.
The latest trend to hit the store shelves has the whole country buzzing. Cannabidiol, or CBD, might just be the greatest discovery of our generation, and it comes from a plant that is not so new, agricultural hemp. Yes, after 70 years of prohibition and misunderstanding, hemp is back to help you stay healthy and balanced. Growing research is showing that we have a lot to learn from the remarkable hemp plant. Nutrient-rich products like Plus CBD Oil's Total Plant Complex concentrated products provide broad-spectrum nutrition, including fatty acids, plant sterols, cannabinoids, terpenes, and naturally occurring vitamin E. From seed to shelf, all Plus CBD Oil products provide the highest quality hemp-derived CBD products available and are offered in a variety of delivery systems and flavors to suit your needs. Ask your local independent health food store about Plus CBD Oil products by CV Sciences today, and learn more about the CBD evolution at pluscbdoil.com. That's pluscbdoil.com.
This is Dr. Michael Garka, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garka, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation.
Strauss Herbs, everything our bodies need is provided by nature.
Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless.
Celsius, live fit. Irwin Naturals, premium vitamins and supplements. 25 years of gold standard supplements.
Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Talking with Charlotte Trask today about one thing. Talking about elderberry. And I asked her the question about, she used the term botanical. When we use the term botanical, she's 100% right. Simply stated, when you use that term, it's relating to plants. Plants. Anything, any part of a plant, right? The plant itself or parts of a plant. And then we have, in the world of botanical medicine, for example, we have these things called phytomedicines, masquerades under other names, medicinal herbs, plant drugs. I don't like that phrase too much, but nevertheless, this world of botanicals is essential in keeping our health, wellness together and serving to protect us and to heal us and to, in fact, retrieve our health when we're in trouble. Turns out that elderberry has been used in folk medicine. Listen to this list, and there's documentation for this, as an analgesic, for pain, antivirus, anti-inflammatory, and heart disorders, hemostatic, antitussive, antiparasitic. They've been used to soothe burns, treat various illnesses such as stomach ache, sinus congestion, constipation, diarrhea, sore throat, common cold, rheumatism, and also there is evidence to show that it's been used to prevent or delay the onset of chronic age-related diseases. Now, that's a mouthful, and that's quite a claim. And there's evidence to support each one of those uh, con- features or effects of elderberry. Talking about elderberry here. So it's an intriguing botanical, and the whole notion of medicinal properties of these herbs is pretty. It's a wonderful thing to talk about. So I'm glad you chose to focus on elderberry today, Charlotte.
And as far as, like, yeah, I think as far as like folklore and stuff goes too, there's some really, interesting stories about how farmers used to attach like elderberry twigs to the ears of the cattle to help keep insects and vermin away. And also elderberry twigs were used similarly in several, war settings by war doctors who were trying to keep patients, wounds clean and away from, any sort of, infecting insect or vermin. So again, interesting things that the elderberry has been used for as a plant, but we get to use it in a different way, which is, we use it internally, which is exciting again because you listed off a ton of different things. And where I really like to try and be a little discerning is, right now we have a virus that is, ravaging the nation. And I want to be very, very clear that when we say that elderberry has antiviral properties, that's against some types of viruses, not against all types of viruses. And I think that can be misleading to people. And I just wanted to clear that up because I never want to mislead someone into believing that the elderberry would be effective against COVID-19 because there's no research showing that.
Yeah, there is research to show that it does counter influenza. I was looking at some studies during the break, for example, showing that the duration of infection is shorter with elderberry if infected with the influenza virus, H1N1, whatever. So you're right about that. There are no studies that connect elderberry to coronavirus. Uh, that's 100% right. But cold and flu season is coming along here, and we're gonna have cold viruses, right?
Yeah,
Influenza
the COVID
and
is a virus.
COVID
Yes.
19 and the coronavirus all in the same uh, moment. There's going to be a moment when all three are in play. For heaven's sake, you talk about um, putting yourself at risk just walking out the door. So, yeah. So elderberry has a lot of application here for today and for the all the way through all the way through back to school, the holidays into the new year. Yes.
Yeah, and so New Chapter really wanted to make elderberry accessible to everyone. That's part of our goal is to make it so that everyone can use it. We make a really great elderberry product called Elderberry Force. We also make elderberry syrup, and we've just released a new elderberry syrup for kids, as well as our new elderberry gummies for kids and elderberry gummies for adults.
hmm Now, is it to be taken? Did you the elderberry force? Is that a capsule? What is that?
Yeah, yeah. So elderberry force is a capsule. We that's a really easy thing to take for people who just love to take a capsule in the morning and just take it that way. A lot of people like syrup, and our syrup is made with honey, which is great for your throat too. So if people want to take it as a syrup, we do make it that way as well. And when we use bee-friendly honey, that's really important. It's True Source certified, so there's no harm to the bees, and we can trace it from hive to bottle, which is pretty impressive. And so we really appreciate when people use sustainable ingredients like True Source certified honey, and that's what we chose to do there. And with our new elderberry gummies, the cool part is that they're organic, and they offer the same concentrated extract that we use in our elderberry force, which is 64 times concentrated. And we put it inside of a gummy, which means you can take it on the go. It's super easy. Kids like to take it, and you know how hard it is to get kids to take anything. Look at a meal like, oh, this is good for your immune system. They're like, I'm not taking that. but it actually tastes really good.
Uh, yeah, it's hard to get my clients to be compliant. Are you kidding? Adults. Um,
I do. I get it. I see all these research studies on when pill count goes up, people become less compliant, and so it doesn't. It never surprises me when people are like, "I have that, but I don't take it."
yeah, it's sitting. Yeah, I have it, but like you said one day, that supplement is useless until you unscrew the lid, or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
take it.
You said it more
Yes.
elegantly than I just said it, but that was your point. Um,
Yeah, it
you don't
doesn't
have
work
to
if you
take
don't
this.
take it.
You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be sick to take this product.
No, no. In fact, I mean, I love taking elderberry. I'm a big fan of your best defense is a good offense. I'm into that. So here's the thing, like if my body, and I know my body's going into immune season. I mean, irregardless of you know COVID, I would say that we're going into cold and flu season. That's just a fact. We always have cold and flu season as we go into the fall and into winter months, and that's coming. So do I send my body in there half prepared? Like, oh man, I hope I'm not gonna like prepare my body for this. No, I want to give it the best thing that I can to lay a great foundation so that if it does, encounter any of these bad pathogens, that my body is in its best shape.
Excellent. We'll be right back.
Wayne Elliott here to tell you about my experience with Strauss Heart Drops over the past 20 years. The Strauss Heart Drops saved me back then and changed my life forever. It's hard to describe how invigorating it is when you increase your blood flow everywhere. The heart drops have proven to dissolve plaque from arteries, veins, and vessels caused from cholesterol that can restrict or block our blood flow, our body's most important function. I was able to avoid open heart surgery, as was my father, and instead cleared our arteries painlessly and without chemical drugs, which, by the way, do not claim to remove any plaque or increase blood flow otherwise. Strauss Heart Drops work, I can assure you. No contraindications with pharma drugs. Strauss Heart Drops are safe, and Strauss guarantees your satisfaction with a money-back guarantee. So you can't go wrong and certainly have nothing to lose. If you've had open heart surgery, angina, diabetes, low energy, cold hands and feet, or grayish-blue skin or lips, Strauss Heart Drops are for you. Available online at powermall.com and straussnaturals.com. I promise you won't be sorry.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com, YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
Did you get enough calcium today? 85% of women over the age of 20 and 50% of men over the age of 30 consume less than the recommended daily intake of calcium. One of the best ways to protect your bones and joints, Bone-Up provides Australian hydroxyapatite, the very same form of calcium found in the human body. However, strong bones and joints require more than calcium. Magnesium, zinc, manganese, copper, silicon, vitamin C, vitamin D3, vitamin K, and boron are all beneficial to optimum joint function. Bone-Up gives you all of these. Bone-Up is the most healthful nutritional regimen for bones and joints. Ask for Bone-Up at your local health food store. Or, for more information, go to www.jarrow.com for the best in calcium formulas.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Celsius, Live Fit. CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Charlotte Trash, educator, premier educator for a premier dietary supplement company, New Chapter. Here's the LTN health question of the day. There's going to come a moment this year when you're going to have cold virus, flu virus, and coronavirus palling around together. That's going to happen. All right? You need to be prepared. That's why we're talking about just one thing today. And it's not the ultimate defense, the only defense, but it's part of the defense system that you can build. And we're talking about elderberry. But here's the question. What comes first? Cold season or flu season? Simple question. Which one is first on the list? Cold season or flu season? I'll give you a hint. The one that comes first is coming soon to a neighborhood near you, like, at the end of August, early September. That cold season or flu season? Here's the number to call.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
Ms. Trass, welcome back.
Thank you.
Elderberry. So we can have the youngsters take it, especially if they're going back to school. They have to go back into these classrooms. It's a story for another day. We need to, give them every edge that they can have. Of course, you don't need to be sick to take this product. You need to take this botanical now. That's what you do. So it's free. You've mentioned three products: the elderberry force, which is in capsule; the elderberry syrup, which is made with wonderful honey; and elderberry gummies. Should have all three of those in the house, sold in fine health stores throughout the United States. Let's go to Jerome in Tampa, Florida. Jerome, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. And yourself?
How you doing, Doc? Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Miss seeing you, but we all in it together, and we be safe. I keep my mask on. Okay, it's the flu season coming up.
Yeah, but which one comes first? I want you to think about this for a second. Kids are going back to school, and usually they come home and they have what from school? They have starts with the letter C.
Hello? Huh?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I know the flu season coming up, but you said that. I guess we got to say cold season.
That's right. Cold season. Cold season starts late August, early September. It'll march its way all the way into March and part of April sometimes. Flu season occurs during the winter months, and it begins as early as October, will peak somewhere in January, February, but it can persist and has up until May. Congratulations, Jerome. You won a $25 supplement gift card. Wear your mask, do your physical distancing, and no slow dancing. Not yet.
All right, Doc. You're right. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. That was Jerome. I know who Jerome is. And so, Charlotte, you're making your way every day. I get to talk to you when you come on to the show, and we have these hiatuses. And so I'm always curious as to how things are unfolding in the Trass household as we move forward here. How are things going there?
Well, we're getting ready for remote learning for the school year, and we're enjoying the last summer in New England, which has already started to get a little bit chillier up here. We're getting ready for our favorite season, which is fall. So that's us preparing for the new year.
Yes. And you doing okay, Charlotte? You doing all right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this has been very taxing on so many people, and so I'm grateful to have been able to stay healthy during this period of time, and we continue our social distancing, and we continue to take care of each other and wear our masks, and I think that's the best that we can do right now.
Well, maybe we'll get to a place where I will see you at a trade show, and I
Oh,
can
can you
see you
imagine?
there, and thank you, and give you a hug, and thank you for all that you contributed to this show. I'm looking forward to that moment.
I am too. I really am.
Yeah, it'll happen. It's just going to take some time
Yes.
for us to get there.
When is the question, but we will get.
We will get there. Um, yeah, every day, every single day. Here I am I'm sitting in my home. It's a beautiful home, and that's nice. But I miss going to the studio. I miss seeing the crew. I even miss that stupid morning traffic. uh, my
Yeah.
commute to work is great. I 15 steps and I'm at work. But yeah, I I you know it's people such as yourself. You come onto this show and you breathe or inject a sense of optimism and hope into the conversation. Your enthusiasm, your not just your knowledge, but the spirit that you bring to the conversation. It's infectious. People appreciate it. I appreciate it. The company, New Chapter, is really lucky to have you. If I ever get in front of some of those executives, I don't know if that'll ever happen. I will tell them how lucky they are to have you. They already know that.
Well,
They don't
thank
need me to
you.
tell them. Take care of
I
yourself,
appreciate it.
and I know you'll take care of the kids and your husband and all. That's what you do. You do it well, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Me as well. So take care. Elderberry, New Chapters Elderberry. The elderberry force and capsule elderberry syrup made with honey and the elderberry gummies. Yum, yum, yum. Get that elderberry sold in fine health stores throughout the United States. Do it now. Don't get sick and then take it. Take it now. Build, start to piece this all together. Each day I give you clues as to what to do, tips, and actual things that you can act that really will make a difference. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate you as well. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you. I'll see you tomorrow.